Fresh dirt and shiny shovels in Washington, D.C. could only mean one thing. They actually found more room to squeeze in another historical building. But some say this one is well overdue.
Today we are on the site where the National Museum of African American History and Culture will rise up very soon.
This day has been a long time coming. The idea for a museum dedicated to African Americans was first put forward by Black veterans of the Civil War.
So this has been almost a 100-year dream that we begin to make real today.
3, 2, 1, break ground. Today, we take the first step in creating an iconic building, a museum with the power to change hearts and minds, and ultimately, the nation.
And it is on this spot, alongside the monuments to those who gave birth to this nation and those who worked so hard to perfect it, that generations will remember the sometimes difficult, often inspirational, but always central role that African Americans have played in the life of our country. This museum will celebrate that history.
We're going to be remembered. Our contributions to this country will not be forgotten because they'll exist someplace that's permanent and real, and our children and our children's children and their children's children can come and see and learn.
We want this to be a museum that everybody comes to, not just in the national scope, but in the international scope. So you can learn about African American history and American history at the same time, because both are interwoven together and inextricably linked, and that's what we want people to understand.
This will be a museum that on the one hand will have wonderful technology, a lot of interactivity, things for kids, but it'll also have what the Smithsonian does very well, traditionally wonderful objects. So when you walk in, you'll see a segregated railroad car from the 1920s. You'll also see material that I didn't think existed, such as Harriet Tubman's shawl or the hymnal that she carried with her for 50 years that had all those wonderful spirituals.
So far, the Smithsonian has received $250 million from the government, and the founding director of the Museum of African American History and Culture says they're well on track to raise the other $250 million needed to complete the project by 2015.
Congress has been supportive. The general public has helped us raise millions and millions and millions of dollars. We always have to raise more.
And I appreciate corporate support, but also I want African Americans out there who are just regular, ordinary folks, whether they can give $1 or $5 or $100, to make sure that they can say, I made this possible.
We didn't give up. We didn't give in. We didn't give out. We didn't get lost in a sea of despair. We kept the faith. We kept our eyes on the prize.
Although it will take 4 years to erect the National Museum of African American History and Culture here on the corner of 14th and Constitution, they've already started to take over the second floor of the museum across the street, the Museum of American History. That'll be their temporary home for exhibitions until 2015. From the nation's capital, Shannon, LANIER, BlackEnterprise.com.